Well, joining us now from Washington, D.C. is Bob Weiner. He's a former spokesman for the Clinton White House, the Bill Clinton White House, that was, and a Democratic strategist. Bob, thank you very much indeed for joining us. First of all, gun control, bearing in mind a conservative Supreme Court and Republican domination of Congress. Is this all hot air from Barack Obama, or is there much he can do about guns?
Well, Adam, first of all, Happy New Year. Nice to be with you again, and thanks for having me. No, it is not hot air at all when you have, as the numbers you just cited point out, 30,000 deaths a year compared to the couple hundred, a point that Obama has made in Britain, because you do a lot more than we do with guns. But Democrats and Republicans alike have been chicken to deal with the gun issue ever since Gore had that as one of the factors by which he lost in 2000. So they've been gun shy, not to use a pun here, to tackle the issue, even though 90% of the American people support expanded background checks. So Obama is right to do background checks because it is a fraud to say that it's a hobby for gun show dealers who sell 40% of the guns in America to call it a hobby.
Can he make changes that are enforceable state by state?
Well, that's true, too. You know, you had a nice transition there. Bill Clinton was the last president to do something about gun laws with the Brady bill. And how you cannot reinstate the Brady law that bans the assault weapons that are responsible for half of the growing number, and they've doubled in the last decade, mass shootings that you've talked about. It is so sad when the president of the United States has to go on TV every month and say that I feel for the families and we have to do something, and it's unconscionable that Congress doesn't. So I just believe, Adam, as a strategist who's worked for 4 congressmen, who's worked for the Clinton administration and all that, that it is winnable. It is winnable, and Bloomberg proved that it's winnable when he went into Chicago and beat an incumbent Republican with an alternative person that he funded. So it is doable, but right now, the Democrats and the Republicans alike haven't taken Bloomberg's strategy, and they are afraid of the NRA, and that's what's happening.
And what about Hillary Clinton on this question of gun control? Because she, of course, is trying to build a majority. Would you, as a strategist, advise her to go near this or to step back?
She has chosen, as you know, to tackle the issue and to make it an issue, as her husband did, who won the presidency twice. So I believe it is very smart, but it's also the right thing to do. When you have that many tragedies by mass shootings and that many killings a year, more than you get by her other major issue, which she's the only one to tackle strongly, which is drug abuse. When you have that as a problem and the Congress afraid to do something about it, the president has to lead. And Obama is, and Hillary is. And I think it's the right thing to do. And again, the polls are showing that the American people will be supportive of that. Although the NRA, I'm sure, will do massive ads, as they did against health care back then with Harry and Louise. They will do massive ads against Hillary because they're afraid that she'll actually get something done.
Now, what about Bill Clinton? Is he an asset to his wife's campaign or a liability, as Donald Trump is suggesting?
Well, the Republicans and the opponents to the Clintons like to try to paint Bill as a liability. But the fact of the matter is, Adam, that he left office with 70% popularity, the highest of any recent president. And he had a $23 million jobs, he had peace, and he had budget surpluses his last 3 years because he didn't kowtow to the very rich. He did even-keeled tax reforms, and he created a 100-fold increase in people in poverty who went to the middle class compared to the prior decade. That's the kind of economy we need now to end the income disparity that is jumping ahead. And today in New Hampshire, he really explained Hillary's background better than anyone is going to allow the Republicans or the Republicans will allow to happen. When he talked about her having set up legal aid for the poor, when he talked about the Children's Defense Fund, when he talked about her working with Tom DeLay, who he said was the Cruz of the pre-Tea Party generation, and set up a 75% increase in adoptions. And of course, when you add what Hillary did in China, which is the women's rights are human rights too. Nobody knows Bill better. And when he said that in Iran, that it was a surprise even to him that she he got the Chinese and the Russians to agree to the Iran nuclear deal. So he knows her better than anybody. And he, as you remember in the convention, said that it's arithmetic. It's simple arithmetic on the budget deficit being caused by tax breaks for the rich. He explains better than anybody, and he's an absolute asset for the Democratic Party and for Hillary Clinton.